most proud, if you don't mind. Are there any boundaries you don't like to cross in this series?
I'll say no, not really. Like that's one of the cool things about animation is you can do almost anything you want, and we're on TBS now where you can basically say whatever you want to. So that's one of the things the shows has to kind of embrace is like we can do whatever, people expect us to do whatever, so let's push it.
I think the only maybe change is that, I think some things have become a lot less funny since the election. So,
Great point.
we stay away from certain things like that.
For example?
But, I think like misogyny, we would satirize characters who were, making fun of people like this, but I don't even think you just want to add to that, what's going on. But not to turn this into a super political thing, but, I think we're a little more conscious of we don't want to add to the noise of some of the things that are going on because reality is so grim, I think, that we don't want to be a part of the problem.
Just something to be conscious of.
Yeah, being conscious of stuff like that.
Because,
and politics in general we stay away from on the show, but we have since the first season because it takes a year, to do an episode. So, by the time, something airs, it's 300 news cycles ago. So,
I think we've also found that people, whether they agree with our politics or not, they're not turning on American Dad to listen to political talk. They're turning it on because they want to see an alien jump out of a plane and kill 10 people.
Yeah.
So, politics we realize is
keep our jokes a little more evergreen, But as far as like if something's too fucked up or something, no, we steer towards it versus or something too taboo, we'll lean into it.
They're pushing on 200.
250.
So we're going to hit 250 this year.
We got a big one planned for that. Yeah.
How do you feel without telling us?
Oh, well, I'll tell you everything.
Give it.
We have a really cool episode planned for that where Roger gets sick. He gets a tumor that kind of takes him out of commission. And Stan offers to take up his responsibility, basically all of Roger's personas. So Stan is going to take up the characters because all these personas have lives going on that Roger can't continue. So you get to see Stan as some of Roger's more famous characters. And on top of that, we introduce a new character. That tumor eventually gets removed, but becomes sentient and becomes a character named Rogu, who's kind of like a mini-me Roger who can barely speak, but dresses up like Roger and calls him Daddy. Yeah. So we have a new tumor character.
He will stay for longer.
He'll be.
He pops up. Yeah.
He definitely comes back.
We kind of use him similarly, like we would do with like Jeff or some stories. He's not in every episode, but he's used in some really fun ways. We just broke a new story using him. That's kind of Steve babysitting him, and it's a mixture of Gremlins and Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. So he's fun. He adds a new flavor to it, and gives Roger some fun stuff.
And the 250th is going to be big because you get to see Stan and all these, so you get to see all these famous Roger personas come back. We kind of also tip that how important Roger's personas are to the town.
Yeah.
So all these things, when you think they're just little bits he's doing out and about, they're actually keeping all of Langley Falls stitched together.
Yeah, so when Stan screws up something, the whole town falls into chaos because of these stupid characters that he thought are meaningless actually are very important in the scheme of things. So that's that episode.
How do you guys keep coming up with ideas of keeping it fresh after 250?
It's tough. There's a lot of days that start with, hey, what about this? Well, 7 years ago we did something kind of like that. But I think we have 20 writers there, so you have enough people throwing darts at the wall. They're like, that's crazy. How did we never think of that? Yeah. Something happens.
You also pull from your real life, you bring in stories of things that are going on. We just had one where one of our writers was on maternity leave, and she came in with this super funny breastfeeding story for Francine and Steve. So, you pull from real life, and then you kind of skew it into a weird, twisted area that feels right for American Dad.
And like other stuff that comes up naturally in culture, like Instagram, like as that evolves, like Haley becomes Instagram famous in the upcoming season. So sometimes the world gives us stuff that we never had before.
holiday episodes, you went from killing Santa to starting the Rapture to going back in time. And what would you say is something that we're going to be looking forward to for this holiday?
We have is a Halloween episode.
We have a Halloween episode that's got this kind of Twilight Zone feel, where Stan buys like one of those super old like big TVs that happens to be haunted, and he gets sucked into this haunted television show, and that's done in black and white. And Chris Pine is in it as kind of the host of that show, and he does an amazing job. So we got like this fun Twilight Zone
It's a
episode.
cool stylistic episode. I think that's our only seasonal one coming up.
I have one I really want to do. Have you guys ever seen the Star Wars Holiday Special? Where like Chewbacca has that weird life day.
Everybody wants to forget about it.
Yeah, I want to do something like that with Roger. Like I want to know what Roger's life day is, and force the family to celebrate that. So,
Any other pop culture shows or that you incorporated? I know you mentioned
yeah.
Is there anything else that
There's a Jaws episode where Roger has Steve is afraid of sharks, so Stan thinks the best way to teach him a lesson is to throw him into the water, and Roger has a shark persona, and then he'll see sharks aren't that dangerous, you can go swimming, nothing to be afraid of. And Steve says something that kind of annoys Roger, and Roger ends up biting his arm off and terrifying Steve even more of sharks. So we got a Jaws one.
Oh, we have one coming up where we find out that Roger and Steve, when they were real little, were twin child actors. So they were the Mary-Kate and Ashley that never was. And Roger decides that it's not too late for them, so they're going to try to be twin actors again now that Steve's a teenager.
Yeah,
and they move out to Hollywood and give it a go.
Get cast in a new Parent Trap, basically.
Are there any?
One last question.
Are there any actors that you want to do some cameos for the upcoming 250 as well?
That we have coming up.
Yeah.
Who Chris Pine you mentioned.
We have people who are going to be in, or people we want that we would love
That
to
you want
get.
that you actually got, because we don't know the episodes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else we have. We have a lot of.
Oh, Snoop Dogg is going to be in an episode. We have one where Jeff wins a ticket, like a golden ticket, to a tour of a weed factory, and Snoop plays our Willy Wonka. It was written specifically for him, so we were very lucky to get him.
He's got his little Snoop-a-loompas,
Yeah.
little guys like him running around. And there's music in that one too, which the fans always like, is when we get the hip-hop producer to do music for it.
Well, who I want is, obviously I'm a big X-Men fan, so I would love to get Hugh Jackman in it, because we already have Patrick Stewart, we have Professor X. The old X-Men reunion. Maybe send Steve to the school or something.
play episode 3 for
Thank you guys.
That's a weird one.
Thanks, guys.